At 6:11 p.m. on September 9th, 2010, a 30-inch natural gas transmission pipeline in San Bruno, California, ruptured. The resulting explosion created a crater 167 feet long, 26 feet wide, and 40 feet deep. A column of fire rose 1,000 feet. 8 people died, 58 were injured. 38 homes were destroyed. In the years that followed, federal investigators would establish that PG&E had known about safety problems with the pipeline for years, had maintained inaccurate records about its construction, and had redirected money earmarked for pipeline safety to shareholder dividends and executive compensation. The paper trail had been there. No one had been required to follow it.
Line 132. The pipeline that exploded had been installed in 1956. Federal pipeline safety regulations required operators to maintain accurate records of pipe specifications, material, seam type, wall thickness to determine maximum allowable operating pressure. PG&E's records for the San Bruno segment were incomplete and in some cases fabricated. The company had assigned operating pressure limits based on records that did not accurately describe the pipe in the ground.
The National Transportation Safety Board investigation found multiple compounding failures. PG&E had identified the San Bruno line as requiring integrity testing under federal regulations, but had not performed the required tests on this segment. The company had received warnings from its own employees about record discrepancies on the line. Internal documents showed that PG&E had a practice of using assumed values, estimates rather than verified measurements, for pipe specifications in segments where actual records were missing or inconsistent. An assumed value on a high-pressure transmission pipeline running beneath a residential neighborhood.
The financial picture that emerged during the investigation was damaging. PG&E had collected tens of millions of dollars from California ratepayers specifically designated for pipeline safety work. The California Public Utilities Commission found that PG&E had diverted a significant portion of this funding, approximately $100 million over a decade, away from safety programs and toward general operating expenses and shareholder returns. The money collected for safety had not been spent on safety. The pipeline had not been tested. 8 people had died.
Following the explosion, federal prosecutors opened a criminal investigation. In 2014, a federal grand jury indicted PG&E on 12 felony counts, 1 count of obstructing a federal investigation, and 11 counts of violating federal pipeline safety regulations. The obstruction charge was based on evidence that PG&E employees had altered internal documents after the accident and during the federal investigation. The federal investigation had found emails from PG&E employees discussing which records would be examined by investigators and how they should be presented.
The trial concluded in 2016. PG&E was convicted on all 12 felony counts. The sentence: a $3 million fine and 3 years of federal probation. $3 million, approximately 0.05% of the company's annual revenue of $15 billion. No individual executives were charged. No individual employees were convicted. 8 people were dead. The fine was paid in 90 days. The company continued operating under probation.
During its federal probation, PG&E's equipment failures caused the Butte County Camp Fire in November 2018, the deadliest wildfire in California history, killing 85 people and destroying nearly 19,000 structures. This fire occurred while PG&E was under active federal criminal probation for the San Bruno explosion. Federal Judge William Alsup, who oversaw PG&E's probation, noted publicly that PG&E appeared to have been operating in the same negligent manner during probation as it had before the conviction. PG&E filed for bankruptcy in January 2019, listing $30 billion in wildfire liabilities.
The PG&E case raised a foundational question about corporate criminal accountability. What does a criminal conviction of a corporation actually accomplish if the fine is immaterial to revenue, no individuals are prosecuted, and the conduct continues under active judicial supervision? The San Bruno victims' families asked this question publicly during the sentencing. The judge acknowledged that the sentencing guidelines provided limited tools for a utility with no meaningful corporate equivalent of incarceration. 8 deaths, one $3 million fine. 85 more deaths 4 years later while on criminal probation. Subscribe next video. The company that knew its product was addictive and sold it to children anyway.